Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tammy Brown here. Excited about the guests we have on the BRCC Today show. For those of you who don't know, BRCC is now enrolling for the summer semester at all campuses. The main campus on Florida, the Acadian campus on North Acadian Thruway, in Jackson, in Plaquemine, in Port Allen, in New Roads. We've got campuses all over to serve you. We're enrolling in programs like in degree programs like engineering and science, technology, liberal arts degrees. We also have hands-on training in programs like graphic design, culinary arts, care and development of young children, welding, pipe fitting, and I can go on and on and on. The list goes on. But check us out on our website. It's www.mybrcc.edu, and you pull it up and you can see a list of all of our programs. We have so much to offer to you, the community. And it's not difficult to enroll. To enroll at BRCC and all the programs, you have to have a high school diploma or GED, $10 as the application fee, and take the entry test, which is not pass or fail. And once you take that, you see the financial aid officer, and the rest is done from there. So check us out. We are enrolling now for the summer semester. I'm excited about the guest I have on the show today. My first guest is going to be via satellite, via video that we took with Mr. Elliot Johnson. And you guys may remember him from several years back on the show. Gentleman was incarcerated for 16 years and received welding training while he was incarcerated. Came out of incarceration, got a great job, was making good money, and now making a whole lot of money in the welding program taught by BRCC. So I'm not going to give all the surprise away, so stay tuned right now and check out the video of Mr. Elliot Johnson, a BRCC alumni in welding. Talk with you about your testimony, and you said you wanted to share it.
I was just recently released from Dixon Correctional Institute. I was there for 15 years, approximately 15 years, for armed robbery. The reason I was there because I used crack cocaine and it led me to a life of crime.
You actually got welding training.
Yes.
While you were incarcerated?
I received my training while at Washington Correctional Institute before I transferred to Dixon Correctional Institute.
And so you actually got these skills while you were incarcerated.
Yes.
16 years later, you come out, and now you have, within a month, you got picked up by a local union, you got your TWIC card,
yes,
right? You're making good money,
yes,
you'll be coming to school
yes,
and working as a welder,
exactly,
all within less than a month of coming out of being incarcerated. Them saying, well, I can't get a job, or I need to just go back to what I've been doing because things aren't looking hopeful to me. What is your advice to people out there who have that attitude?
If someone tell you there's not jobs out here, you look them in the eyes and tell them they're lying. You know a guy that came home and in 9 days got a job.
All right. Welcome back to the show. We are right here at the Acadian campus on set, and I have with me a very special guest. In fact, one of my favorite interviews over the years, Mr. Elliot Johnson, who is an alumni from the BRCC welding program. Mr. Johnson.
It's great to be back.
Such a pleasure to have you back. We interviewed 3 years ago. Roughly 3 years ago. And how that interview? I don't remember. How long were you out of jail when we did that interview?
9 days. Once again, like before, I had an upbringing. I was a troubled youth.
Mm-hmm.
I started messing with drugs and following the wrong crowds, and that lifestyle led me to prison. And it took me 16 years of my life to get it together.
You were incarcerated 16 years.
16 years. While there, I participated in programs, the self-help programs, the Living in Balance, Cage Your Rage, Drug Dealers Anonymous, anything that could keep my mind away from my past, I did. Anything that could make me a better person, I did. I was a tutor. I was a hospice volunteer. Any and everything that they had to offer, I took it.
The college, actually, we have training programs in all of the prisons.
Yes.
And so you were at Dixon Correctional, and we had welding, automotive, electrical, a few other programs. But you took the welding class while you were incarcerated.
Yes, I did.
And then you got some certifications.
Yes, I did.
And
all
then
the welding certifications.
All the welding certifications. And then you came out and did some advanced training at the Acadian campus.
Yes, when you came and did a presentation and you told us about the program here, and I was thinking, well, how can I take that? I'm just coming home from prison. no money, no way to pay for it, and you spoke about the Pell Grant. And I thought it was something people just say to make us come to the school. But actually, when I got out, I thought about it, and I called, and you told me to come down. I came down, did the paperwork, and it was free. And I was excited. I got back into class, and I took some advanced classes, and I finished, and didn't take long. I started welding.
And in 9 days, you were incarcerated 16 years.
16 years.
Okay, 9 days out, you got a job in welding.
Yes.
Because of the training, of course, you received that BRCC,
Yes.
At the prison training we had there. 9 days out, in our last interview, you actually received your first check on site.
And he got his check.
My first check.
First, I didn't know that was your first. Wow.
We talked in that interview, and I said, you know what? You're gonna end up making more money than all of us, meaning all of us that work here at the college and the prison, for that matter.
Yes.
And you're here. He's here today as a follow-up, and he made good on that statement that I made. So now, how much did you make last year?
Last year, I made $111,000.
Can you say that again?
$111,000 1 year.
1 year. This man is a welder. He was incarcerated 16 years. And then the reason why I have you here, of course, you know why, is because people out there thinking, I have a record. There's no way I can get a good job. I have a record. I can't get training, or I'm not going to be hired. This man was incarcerated 16 years, made $111,000 last year as a welder.
Yes.
I mean, what does that feel like? How do you even... Is it like winning the lottery?
It's almost like hard work paying off. Because when I was doing drugs and crime, I always dreamed of having or making that kind of money. Always trying to get that much money, and never made it. And here I come home with the drive and the determination to not go back. I feel like that is the reason why I'm here, to go to work, to provide for my family. And that's my motivation. They call me right now. I'll cut the interview short. I apologize, but I'll be gone. There's a few guys come home, and they've contacted me because of the interview. And they say, man, well, what can I do? Where can I go? And the first thing I tell them is, if you want money and a trade, go online, go to fastfood.com, fill out the application.
Financial aid, right.
Within 60 minutes, you will get an approval, and that is free money, providing that you meet the requirements,
right.
GED, high school diploma, and having worked within the past. And guys call me, and they like, man, thank you. And I never hear anything from them again after that. A few of them.
So hopefully they went on to school.
Yeah, some of them, most of them did. A lot of times I'm told everybody can't do what you do because they don't have the motivation, but I figure if I show them an example,
sure,
and they see me, they'd be like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Well, and I look at it like this, because I had a mentor when I was younger too. I wasn't always as motivated as I am now, and I think motivation sometimes can be like it's a pilot light that's not lit. So there are people that may not seem motivated, but then all of a sudden, maybe watching right now, hearing your story, that light goes on. It's like, wait a minute, I can do that.
Yes,
so
it's definitely doable.
And I can do that as long as I focus and go to school and really be determined to change. And so for people watching that, maybe they have a record, or maybe they don't have a record, being convicted of anything. Maybe they're a drug dealer right now. Maybe someone that does drugs right now. What would you say to them, being that you've been through all of that? What would you say to them to help them at this moment? What comes to your heart?
Well, for starters, that the life of crime is short-lived, and there is life outside of crime. I'm a living example. If you need someone to talk to, someone who understands what you're going through, someone who's been there, give me a call.
Oh, so you're giving your number again?
Yes, my phone number has not changed since the day we met, and it's area code 225-384-3437. Call me if you want to talk. Call me if you just need somebody to listen to you. And as far as being a convicted felon and not being able to get a job, the craft and the trade that I'm in, I have yet to meet someone that has not had either an arrest or a conviction. So there's plenty of work for guys that's been incarcerated, that gets out. If you have your head on straight and you want to do right,
it can be done.
That's right.
Man, I thank you so much for being on the show. And he gave his number again. We're going to have that on the screen. That's for people, if you're doing drugs, a former drug dealer, convicted of, just getting out of incarceration. He gave his number like he did 3 years ago. He's had people call. He's inspired them and gave them direction. Call the number on the screen. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much. And I'm going to step out and say this. Maybe in the next 3 years, you're going to be on here telling me you made $300,000 a year.
Yes,
quite
I hope
possibly.
so.
Thank you so much. And again, Elliot Johnson, an incredible testimony from the BRCC welding program. Stay tuned. We have a lot more for you on the show.
That was Mr. Elliot Johnson. Pretty impressive, right? $111,000 a year for a welding student out of the BRCC program. And that's not a rare case. We have many, many students making 6 digits from the welding program. So check out our program. Go to our website, www.mybrcc.edu. Check it out. Again, welding is a great program. And Elliot, we're going to have him back. As I said on the video, he'll be making maybe $300,000 a year in the next couple of years. Our next interview is yet another interview that we did on site at the Acadian campus, and it's with Mr. Josh Hodgeson, and he is a recipient of the Hollywood Casino Scholarship that was given to the BRCC Foundation. So check out Mr. Josh Hodgeson.
Welcome back to the show. I'm right here at BRCC Acadian campus, which is on Wimberton and North Acadian Thruway. And as promised, I have one of BRCC's scholarship recipients, and he's here to talk to you about the Hollywood Casino Scholarship that he received from BRCC. Mr. Josh Hodgeson, thank you for being on the show. Talk to us. Now, what program are you enrolled in at BRCC?
I'm a liberal arts major over at BRCC.
Okay, and your goal, what do you plan to do when you finish?
This is subject to change, obviously, but right now, after I graduate from BRCC, my current goals are to transfer over to LSU, because it's a transfer degree, and then I was going to try to get a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies with a studies in organizations concentration.
Nice.
Yes, and then I wanted to try to get a master's in liberal arts, and I'm currently having a tie between a PhD in history or a PhD in sociology.
Wonderful. And what do you plan to do with that extended knowledge? What do you want to do with that once you get those degrees?
I'd like to become a professor.
Wonderful. And we'd be glad to have you, because I know you have a great overall GPA right now as well. What is your GPA?
As of right now, my current overall GPA is a 3.5.
And how long have you been at BRCC?
This is my second semester here.
Okay, and you received the Hollywood Scholarship. Tell us how you got that. What was the requirements for that?
The main requirements that I know of that they gave me were that I had to have at least a 2.5 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be in a certain department. And when I had originally started here, I was a computer science major, which lasted about 2 months. Basically, it was that and the fact that I had the overall GPA that gave me the scholarship, and I had to write a little essay for it. And maybe a few months later, next thing I know, I'm getting an email saying that I won like a $3,000 scholarship.
Nice. So thank you, Hollywood Casino, for that, right?
Yes.
Now, when the purpose of this interview, and I explained that to you earlier, so for viewers out there, people watching, how important it is to give to the foundations at your local community and technical colleges and your universities, because people like Josh can have a really nice college life, having some of his expenses paid for with the $3,000 money that he doesn't have to pay back, right?
Right.
And so did it help you a lot in going to school?
It definitely did help, because that was less expenses for me to have to worry about too much. I have a loan, I have TOPS, but that was basically all I was considered eligible for. So it was actually nice that they thought that I was good enough for this type of scholarship.
And it helped you with living expenses, transportation, because the TOPS doesn't encompass all of those things. It doesn't encompass your books and living expenses. It's just your tuition. And then, of course, other things that you could advance your studies with this money to help you with supplies and books and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So people watching, as the whole purpose of this interview, if you're watching, even people, individuals, companies, corporations, any alumni, anyone can give to the BRCC Foundation toward a scholarship, and it can be in any amount. Of course, Hollywood Casino gave a very generous amount, but individuals, you can give $10, $5, invest in our students, our future professors, attending community colleges and universities. And again, Josh, for people watching right now who are thinking about giving to a scholarship, what would you say to them?
Whatever amount you think you'd be able to give, by all means go ahead and give it, because it would really help people that are trying to get into college, for those that have like a limited amount of income, or like they have their folks paying for them, and they'll know that that'll be less money for them and or their folks or whoever's living with them to worry about.
And that's a good point. And a lot of people out there don't realize you can dedicate scholarships. So some people out there might want to dedicate scholarships, whether it be low income, or you may want to dedicate scholarships to the good point that you made. A lot of people are in college and their parents are paying for everything. Companies can dedicate scholarships for students, who don't have the Pell Grants or anything like that, but they're still taxing their family with this money, and it'd be nice to help out these families and students as well. So there are many ways you can give to scholarships. And you can put the criteria however you like it. Again, this is Mr. Joshua, one of BRCC liberal arts students, doing a great job. He got the Hollywood Casino Scholarship. We will be seeing more of you, right? And once you become a professor, you're going to be giving scholarships to students as well, right?
As much as I possibly
Give
can.
into the foundation. All right, thank you so much, love. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back on the set.
Well, that was Mr. Josh Hodgeson, a scholarship recipient at BRCC. As you see, scholarships are really important to our students. So those of you out there, we do have a foundation, and if you want to give to a specific program, a specific demographic of student, a specific, whether the students live at home with their parents, whether they're in low income, there's a variety of ways you can donate to the scholarship fund to help all of our students at BRCC and in the main campus and the surrounding campuses. Next on my show, I have a gentleman with me, a very impressive young man who is enrolled in the graphics program at the Acadian campus, BRCC, Mr. Javan Hamilton. He's sitting right here with me. Mr. Javan.
How you doing?
So glad to have you here. You have done so much. You have, for those of you watching the show, he did the intro and the outro. He actually did that on his own and created that for the show, and we're excited for you to see that. He's got great work, and I want you to talk to us about you enrolled in the graphics program at BRCC. What is that like?
Well, it's a unique experience for me. You get a very hands-on training. You get a lot of, I just say, intimacy between you and your instructor. Mm-hmm. She's going to be there with Miss Angela Saya. She'll be there with you every step of the way to make sure you're learning everything you need to learn, whether it's printmaking or Adobe Creative Suite with desktop publishing.
Nice.
We're making buttons, we're making books and things like that. So you can't go wrong.
And it's small, when you say intimate, I mean small classes, so she will actually be able to be working with you hands-on.
Yes.
So it's not like you're sitting back and having to do things on your own. You have someone to coach you, basically.
Exactly.
And you also do things like, you guys in that program, the graphics program, BRCC Acadian campus, you guys do T-shirts and logos. You get to design all these things.
Yes, we get to design our own things, even some things for the school spirit, a little pride and things like that.
So for the creative student, for sure.
Exactly.
Right? So you're free to use your creative energy, or are you locked into certain things?
You're free to use your creative energy. Miss Angela really motivates us to be ourselves, be creative, put whatever we want on the table, our own designs.
And I know you were creative all by yourself, right? And so you in this classroom plus all your other knowledge, and you came up with some ideas for the show, and we're using that.
Yes.
And it's really wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, what is your ultimate goal when you finish the school?
My ultimate goal is to be a graphic designer. I come from a media background, motion graphics, things like that. What we're learning is mostly print graphics, but to be a well-rounded designer, you have to know every single facet. That's the reason why I joined the graphics program at the Acadian campus.
Now, the graphics program is different from graphic design in the main campus. The graphic, there's another name for it, and I can't think of it. There's
graphic arts.
Graphic arts, right? And this is where you get the associate degree. In this program, you don't get the actual associate degree. Is that correct?
No, you get the technical diploma.
Which means basically what? You don't take the general education courses.
Right, you don't take the general education courses, but you do get hands-on skills training. You get many direct connections to jobs.
And you like you were saying, specialized training. You mentioned that earlier. You have specialized training where you learn these different skills. I mean, you come out with skills each semester, skills that can translate into a job.
Yes, easily translate into a job.
And so how long is the program?
The program is a 21-month program, so it's about 4 semesters, about 2 years.
2 years long, and I know financial aid is available.
Financial aid is very much available.
The tuition right now is per semester full-time is around $1,500.
Yes, about $1,500.
Roughly $1,500, which is a great deal. I mean, that's very inexpensive for college tuition.
That's what brought me to the school.
That's what brought you to the school. I was
Part
gonna
of
ask
what
you
brought
that.
me to the school.
Right, because with the tuition, I mean, it's reasonable.
Right, it is.
And what else brought you to the school?
The atmosphere. I'm the type of person where I learn in a small environment. I can learn a lot better when I have one instructor for, say, 40 students, as opposed to one instructor for 300 in a lecture hall. I need to talk to you, you know?
Right.
I need to get to know you so you can see me and view my work and critique it. And you're not going to get that in a lecture.
And that's a good point. Well, but then some people, and they take, you know, there's so many different gifts and talents in people out there, and some people enjoy the lecture style. And then some people don't. It depends on who you are and what works for you. But definitely at BRCC, we have the smaller classes, which for students who do well in that environment, we're definitely catering to that small class environment. Tuition, I said, was $1,500 a semester, and the Pell Grant. For those of you who don't know, the Pell Grant is the free money from the federal government to go to school. FAFSA, they call it FAFSA. It's you fill out that application to get student loans and Pell Grant. Right now, the Pell Grant is around $2,700 a semester. So students, low-income students, can actually get $2,700 a semester, and the tuition is roughly $1,500. So they don't necessarily have to take a student loan to enroll in some of these classes at the Acadian campus.
Right.
Yeah. So the classroom, so you're enjoying it. Tell me, do you get to go outside and do some work, or is it all in the classroom? How's
We
that?
get to do a little bit of everything. In fact, it was a few weeks ago we took a field trip to Lamar Advertising. So you're familiar with the billboards, and you got to see these life-size 3D models and sculptures. One of the project managers showed us some buses that he worked on all the way in Australia.
Wow.
And most recently we were doing some labels for the vans.
Oh, yeah.
Putting logos on there.
So y'all do the striping in the parking lot, labels for the vans. How about signage in the campus?
We did the signage around the campus.
You learn all kinds. That's important stuff.
Yes.
So you can open a sign business. You can open a
publishing company.
Etching. Don't you guys do? You learn how to do etching on glass, and the sky's the limit.
Laser engraving. Matter of fact, I have
laser engraving. I mean, this is a multifaceted program.
It's a chain that I have.
And you actually made that?
It's a T-shirt. Yes, a dog tag, and I have a space shuttle.
And so you actually made that. So I guess you designed it on the computer first, and then
yes.
What an amazing! That's a great program. And of course, again, this translates into a job, and also translate into a small business. Because once you have these skills, you can open your own business. Well, Javan, thank you so much for coming here and talking about. I could talk with him all day. This is the talent that did our intro, our outro. You guys are going to see all the great work he did on the show, and lots more. And I also did some editing for some of our some of our videos. So this is the guy right here. Again, Javan, thank you so much for being on the show. And we're gonna miss Javan, but we have one last interview before the show is over, and it's Colton Calloway, and he's an alumni from the E-Tech program at BRCC, which is the Entertainment Technology program, and it's an associate degree program at the main campus on Florida Boulevard. And he's an alumni who did some great things. And this is an interview from last year, but go ahead and check it out and see the great things that we're doing at BRCC.
Hey, my name's Colton Calloway. I graduated from BRCC in the E-Tech program in 2007. And I recently completed my own independent film called The Climb to Katahdin that will be having its next screening August 23rd at the Baton Rouge Gallery. One of the biggest things that comes out of a film school is the connections you make. If it wasn't for some of the people that I met in the E-Tech program here at BRCC, I don't think this film would have turned out quite the same. Their opinions matter very much to me, and several times they sat behind me and told me what should be in there and what shouldn't. So once I knew that it was good enough for some of them, because they're harsh critics for a lot of films, once they gave me the okay on certain scenes, that was it. I knew that I hit the spot that I wanted, and the general public seemed to agree with that. So the connections I made at Baton Rouge Community College and the film group there is just really outstanding. And again, I don't think my future would have been the same without them. The first screening of The Climb to Katahdin was at the Manship Theater, and that was July 25th. It had an amazing turnout. It was actually overly sold out by about 45 seats. Completely packed out the house, and become a little bit of a local celebrity. I've been getting called out by several people from just about anywhere I go, saying they caught the film and that they were really excited about it, and how much it meant to them. So I'm really excited about sharing the inspiration. A lot of people seem to hit the right spot for a lot of people. The August 23rd screening will be at 8 p.m. on a Friday evening at Baton Rouge Gallery at 1515 Dalrymple. And it will be a movie on the lawn. They'll actually have a big inflatable projector, and they'll be screening it outside, which is where it was meant to be shown. have a big PA, and then they'll have people all over the lawn sitting there around the projector and or the projection screen and enjoying it outside underneath the stars. There was a combination of things that went into play for wanting to make this film. I knew at some point if I was going to make a film, I had always wanted to do it by myself. I always realized whenever I worked in groups, if they missed something, it was also my problem. So I knew if I went out and shot it myself, if there was something that I missed, I could only be upset with myself. And I've always been into the idea of completely independent. Robert Rodriguez was a huge inspiration of mine. The book Rebel Without a Crew offered a lot of insight as to what it takes to just do it on your own. And sometimes you'll have a lot of success that way, sometimes you won't. I'm fortunate enough that the subject matter about this film is something that a lot of people can get a grasp on and really appreciate, because it took a lot of hard work, and you can see it visually on the screen. We hiked over 1,700 miles with more gear than anybody else, and that's because of the camera gear. Not to mention trying to keep a live journal the entire time to show people eventually. You've got that mindset of hiking, I'm tired and I'm sweaty, but you're also keeping in mind that you're making a movie while you're doing it. So, the inspiration from actual hiking, it was a dream for about a year, and then it just became a lot of preparation. Once we had it in our mind that that's what we were going to do, then it turned into, well, I want to make a movie out of it, because there's not a lot of other movies on it. None that I liked very much. So I saw the fact that there's something there that hasn't been done, and I tried to fill that little niche. And that's really how it all came about. There were no other films about a girlfriend, a guy, and a dog hiking the Appalachian Trail. It just didn't exist. So, but that's what I wanted to know about. And surely there's other people wanting to know about it too, if I wanted to know about it. So I did what I've been taught to do, which is go out there and do it myself. So sure, I would have liked to have had an entire film crew with me, but I wasn't so lucky. You can't convince everybody to go hike thousands of miles with you and just follow you around. So, well, I hope to go on some sort of tour and really try to hit the main spots, mainly in the Appalachian Mountains, as it applies to them the most, where there's already kind of a pre-market there, and hopefully it'll get noticed from there and slowly start expanding out. It's got something for everybody in between: a romance story, something for dogs. If you like dogs, you'll like the film. But you start at your key audience and you start working your way out. So, I think after a couple of viewings, it'll get recognized and more people will want to pick it up. But, eventual distribution, DVDs, Blu-rays, ideally, because HD is what it's meant to be seen in. And fingers crossed, hopefully Netflix Instant Play, because I know that's what everybody wants is it on Instant Play? No? Well, then maybe I'll catch it one day. Is it on Instant Play? Yes? I'll go home and check it out right now. You look us up on Facebook, and that's where most updates are. If something is coming up big, it'll be on there. Let people know, look, if you're into the outdoors at all, if you enjoy dogs, if you enjoy independent filmmaking, I will do my best to share everything with you. I'm real passionate about this, and it's something I talk about for hours. So, all the way from backpacks to the cameras to what it takes to set up your tent and the best gear to have. It's something that I would be more than happy to share with you. So if you come out there, I will give you more than just the time of day. I'll be more than happy to share any information I have for you, any inspiration. Just come on out and it'll be worth your while.
Well, that was Mr. Colton Calloway, BRCC alumni, doing great things, as Javan, the alumni, is doing great things. And we had Josh on the show, who received a scholarship. We've got a lot of great things to offer you at BRCC. We are now enrolling for the summer semester. Check out our website and learn about all of our programs. There's something for everyone at BRCC. And I'm your host, Tammy Brown, signing off. I'll see you again on our next segment of BRCC Today.